This video is to review adding and subtracting complex numbers. This is an example of, it sounds like an adding problem, but it actually ends up to be a subtracting problem. So if 9 minus I is the sum of two complex numbers, and one of the binomials is 12 minus 5i, which of the following represents the other binomial? So this takes some reading and some setting up. So 9 minus I is the sum. Okay, so that means this equals 9 minus I. And sum means adding. And it says one of the binomials is 12 minus 5i. So 12 minus 5i plus, because sum means addition, plus our other binomial, which we don't know what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to call our other binomial x. Since we don't know what it is, we'll just call it x, is equal to 9 minus I. So I'm going to put this in parentheses, and we know we want to solve for x. Now most likely this is going to be a multiple choice problem on the SOL, so you could try your 4 different choices, adding them to the 12 minus 5i. That would be a really good strategy, and see which gives you 9 minus I. Okay, the other thing that you can do is you can subtract this to the other side. So I'm going to say x is equal to 9 minus I, and I'm going to subtract the 12 minus 5i. Being careful to keep that whole thing in parentheses. So I know that 9 minus I minus 12 plus 5i. It's really important that I'm distributing that minus sign to both of my items inside my parentheses. So I know that with my complex numbers, I can do 9 minus 12, which gives me negative 3, and negative I plus 5i gives me 4i. Okay, that the numbers with the I attached to it go together. It's almost like a variable, and that my real numbers go together. So this is my correct answer. Now what I would probably want to do is take this, substitute it back in here, and make sure that it works to my original equation. Does it work? Does 12 minus 5i plus negative 3 plus 4i, does that add up to give me my 9 minus I that it's supposed to? Well, 12 minus 3, that gives me 9. Negative 5i plus 4i, that gives me my negative 1i, just like it's supposed to. So I know I set everything up correctly. Okay, we're going to do one more example, and this is an example of a TEI type item where we have to make sure that we select all the equivalent expressions here of 5 plus the square root of negative 144. So we know that the square root of negative 144 is 12i. So it's 5 plus 12i. So what else is going to equal that? Well, negative 144 to the 1/2 power, if we think about our rational exponents, okay, the square root, that's the same thing as writing the square root of negative 144. So I know that that one's correct. I know that I cannot combine these two things together. They're not like terms, so this one can't be right and this one can't be right. I just have to decide, are these other two things correct? So I know the square root of 25 is 5. I just have to decide, is negative 12i to the 19th power, is that the same thing? So I'm going to go ahead and in my calculator, I'm going to type this whole thing and see if I get 5 plus 12i. And then I'm also going to do this one right here, the 3 plus 2i squared. So I'm going to do negative 12, and my I, remember, is where this pi key is. I can't use the I alphabet down here. I to the power of 19. Oops. Plus the square root of 25. And that gives me 5 plus 12i, which is exactly what I was looking for. So I know that that's a correct answer. And then I just have to check out the other one, which was 3 plus 2i squared. And that also gives me 5 plus 12i. And I will tell you, most of the time, students will pick this one and this one, but they won't pick this one because they won't take the time to put it into the calculator. They just look at it and say it looks so different that there's no way that they could be the same. Okay, and all it takes is really 30 seconds to a minute to type that into your calculator to see if it's the same. And you just don't want to believe that it is the same, but it is. So make sure you're taking the time as you go through the test to use your calculator to your advantage. If you have more questions about complex numbers, please see your math teacher.